Today's episode of the Bill Simmons Podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network, brought to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor. Buy and sell tickets in just 2 taps on your phone. Everything fully guaranteed. Football fans, for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase on NFL tickets, use promo code BSNFL. You could go in time next week to watch the festivities at these NFL games. Man, that was a weird weekend. Download the SeatGeek app or go right to SeatGeek.com. Also brought to you by Sonos. I've been a Sonos guy for a few years now. Their Playbase adds dynamic pulse-pounding sound. Great word, right? Pulse-pounding? That's 2 words. Hyphen word. To whatever's playing on your TV, streams music, practically disappears beneath your TV. For the first time, Sonos is offering listeners of this podcast 10% off one order of $2,500 or less for any product on Sonos.com. This offer available for a limited time only. Can't be combined with other discounts or promotions. Use promo code Simmons10, Simmons10 at Sonos.com to receive this exclusive offer. We're also brought to you by Against All Odds with Cousin Sal. How'd you guys do on that podcast this week?
We did all right. I think the Degenerate Trifecta went 2-1.
Nice.
Except
Better than me.
I bought the wrong one as part of Shark Tank.
Shark Tank? Which one did you buy?
I bought the losing one. Tate's UNC Tar Heels cost Brother Brian a 6-team parlay. 5 out of 6 otherwise.
Wow.
He shouldn't have done that. I should have stood up, but I don't want Masonville to come after me again.
Well, there you go. Also, the rewatchables. We had a new one last week, Speed. People are saying it was the best one.
Yeah.
I like people liked it. I mean, it was probably the dumbest movie we've done, but we have Titanic coming up this week, which I was not involved with. And then the week afterwards, Scream, which was the longest podcast we've done. It was like 83 minutes.
Really?
Scream. 5 people, a lot of thoughts on Scream. Anyway, the rewatchables, people like it. If you want to send us emails about the rewatchables or Cousin Sal's pod or anything we're doing, email us at themailbag@theringer.com. Coming up, we're going to talk about an unforgettable week 3. But first, Pearl Jam. All right, the Cuz is in the house, Cousin Sal. Bizarre weekend.
Yeah.
We've learned that when the President of the United States declares war on the NFL, people mostly rally around the NFL. I say mostly.
The great uniter.
There were boos at the Patriots game, which I was bummed out about. A lot of boos. Boos before and then after. And I thought they were booing like Trump, but then it seemed like a lot of it was geared toward the players that didn't stand, and Trump did it, man. He's most presidents unite, and he's managed to divide.
Yeah,
and it's even divided football stadiums and crowds, and just a weird vibe. And I think it affected some of the games. I think the Seahawks game definitely got affected. I think the Steelers were affected. These guys are having 4-hour meetings before games.
Right.
Then they're going out there and trying to win on the road. Mm-hmm. Bizarre week. I don't know if I liked it, I didn't like it, or I'm always going to remember it and I never know how to feel about it. What'd you think?
No, we don't like it. I mean, we want to talk parlays and fantasy and none of this other nonsense, right? Don't we want to get back to that? But I will say, it's like people who are tuning into football saw a great week of football. They're like, 8 1-touchdown games, a few of them coming down to the last play. It was an amazing week. Once you got rid of that Jaguars-Ravens game, we got that bad taste out of our mouths. You probably thought I was like dreaming when I woke up and it was like 37-0. I'm like, no, I'm still asleep. This is stupid. This is dumb.
Blake Bortles going for 5 TDs.
Exactly. But I don't know. Yeah, it's like I hate that we have to weigh in on this stuff, but we do.
We have to this week. To me, it brought out a lot of the stuff I like about sports.
Yeah.
Like, I love that the NBA players all rallied on Saturday and just people speaking their mind and defending other athletes. And it was funny. Like, I think the phrase son of a bitch really sent people over the edge.
Amazing.
They were like, what the hell? Say that to my face. It turned into that. And for Trump, not to get too political, but he just seems to... I don't know whether he's as smart as a fox or if he just stumbles into this stuff, but anytime he needs a diversion, he seems to figure out whatever the perfect diversion is. And this one, the healthcare thing falls through again. And then the next day he attacks football, which is the new American pastime, basically.
Right.
And starts this 3-day circus about should he have said that? And he's doubling down, tripling down on stand for the flag. And some people agree with him.
A lot of people agree with him. Villanueva, I mean, you can't say that no one agrees with him and the president's crazy. The president might be crazy, but it has split the audience. It's united the league, I think. I think the players and the owners have never been closer than they are like today.
Are we sure it's united the league, though? Because I do feel like I heard Drew Brees talk after the game, and he's like, it's the flag, man. You stand up for it. That's what you do. So in the locker room,
it's pretty diplomatic
be weird
about it. I know it does have to be weird, but the owners, like even those who have supported Trump, I mean, I think they're like 25 on record, said it was, most of them were, he shouldn't have said that. And some of them called him a creep, like they went out there. But I just think, look, I would stand. I think there's other ways to protest. But I think these are great Americans too. These players. I don't think they hate the country. They take people's shitty jobs and they make them forget about it for 3 hours, and you can't put a value on that. That's tremendous. Also, they pay tens of millions of dollars in taxes. All right, so they're great Americans on that.
Like hundreds and
probably hundreds between them. So all I would say as a football fan, if you like football, don't not watch because Donald Trump, a guy who was condoning flag burning 7 years ago, tells you not to watch. I just don't think that makes sense.
The biggest misnomer is that they're protesting the flag. That's not what they're doing.
Right.
Initially, it was. I mean, Kaepernick obviously started it, but they're protesting some racial inequality and police brutality and all these different factors that went into what Kaepernick did, and then it kind of snowballed a little bit. But what happened this weekend was basically that was for free speech. I felt like it's like the president's telling trying to come down on people, calling them son of bitches. Right. You should be fired. Like at that point, it becomes way more personal.
Yeah, before this week, it was only like 6 or 7 or 8 players who were kneeling and everything, and now
it was starting to die down.
Yeah, it was dying down a little, of course. And then he says his thing, and now these players feel they can't back down to Trump. That's what that was about. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to triple down at that point. Right. But to me, they're not protesting the flag or the anthem.
I agree.
Their one chance to make a statement on something.
Agree. Now, listen, all this said, if Donald Trump wants to teach Roger Goodell a lesson and legalizes gambling, something we know Roger doesn't want to do, I am all in. I will order more red hats than they can manufacture if that takes place in the next few weeks.
Was Goodell secretly excited about this whole week?
You think he was?
Well, because all right, let's say Trump never does this. The whole weekend is about Aaron Hernandez, CTE.
Right, yeah.
And that's but now it's turned into this galvanizing thing for the league. It's actually a good thing unless you're Jerry Jones, how many owners gave to Trump? All those guys are like,
who knows how many?
I mean, my dude, Bob Kraft, I didn't even know this. Maybe I blocked it out of my mind, but he gave Trump a Super Bowl ring?
Yeah. Does he need to give that back now? This be the first time.
It's rough. It's rough.
How did you block that out? That was a huge thing.
I think I did block it out. I think I blocked it out. Like when there's some sort of trauma, you just block it out of your mind. Yeah. Man, it is interesting though. Some of these people, this was the tipping point. Mm-hmm. Like Brady, who said nothing.
Yeah, right.
He's literally said nothing, and now it's like, oh wow, he's called football player son of bitches. Now I gotta get involved. It's like you probably should have gotten involved sooner. There was some human dignity stuff that had gone on way before he said anything about football players.
Yeah.
Rex Ryan, I tweeted this yesterday. The Rex Ryan thing was hilarious to me.
Good call by you. Yeah.
Well, come on, Rex Ryan. Mm-hmm. Oh, I feel betrayed. I introduced this guy at a rally. It's like, come on, Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Just stop. And then ESPN's promoting it like this was a great thing. I mean,
yeah, there's hypocrisy everywhere you look. There he is. But that's why I say, just if you like football, watch football.
It's the NFL's fault. They should have let him buy the Bills. He never would have run for president.
Trump. I know, you're right. You're right.
He would have been probably the worst owner we've ever had in any professional sport.
Yeah.
Other than maybe James Dolan. I don't know. So 250 players protested. Fans booed. It seemed like at every location there was at least some booing. Mm-hmm. And I think today and tomorrow, we're taping this, it's 9:30 on Monday morning. I think today and tomorrow some stuff's going to come out that it was a little more divisive in the locker rooms.
Really?
Than I do. Because I think some people feel really strongly about this, and that's why we haven't seen many people kneeling during the anthem in the first place.
Right.
And, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how these next 2 days play out, and I'll be interested to see what else Trump does.
It's tough, man. And
Trump's double, triple, quadrupling down now.
Oh, he's not going to back down for sure. Yeah, but a guy like Brady, who probably waited, is like, all right, I'll go to the White House every year or not go, versus I'm in a locker room with 52 angry men. You know, like I'm gonna back my boys here.
Right.
And you have to do it.
Trump's like, those neo-Nazis in Charlottesville, there's some good people on both sides.
Yeah,
and
right.
then the NFL thing, the son of a bitches.
Yeah. Yeah, who he pardons, but none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
I don't feel like anybody can stay in the middle anymore.
No.
This is a person now who's trying to divide the country and pit people against each other, and that's what's happening. And whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, if you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you.
What if he's trying to bring the XFL back? It's just a way to start it.
I think it's on the way.
Tate, why are you kneeling right now? Get up. Get the hell up. What's the matter with this guy?
Jerry Jones, is he going to say anything? Cowboys playing tonight.
I don't know what he's waiting for. I think he will say something before this podcast.
I regret giving Trump $5 million.
What does he care? It takes all the focus off of Zeke. A lot of people benefited from this. Like you said, yeah, it could have been the CTE Hernandez story. I think Zeke Elliott's not out of the woods yet.
This is now the dominant story forever and ever.
I think
for the rest of the year.
referees were really bad this week. I think they got together and like, hey, we could be as bad as we normally are. No one's going to notice. And
there were some awful calls.
Oh, boy.
I mean, the worst call was Thursday night, weird pass interference, but there were some other beauties.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman should have been thrown out of that Tennessee game, and then they decided it was all offsetting penalties, and his second unsportsmanlike whatever didn't count.
Yeah.
Which I thought was strange.
It was a bizarre game. Yeah.
So I don't want to overreact to week 1 or week 3,
mm-hmm.
and yet I feel like I'm about to overreact to week 3. I'm not sure Ben Roethlisberger is a top-notch quarterback anymore. From what I've seen these first 3 weeks, the guys were open. The throws weren't there, and they weren't there for the entire game. And this is exactly how he played the other 2 weeks. And I'm starting to waver on them as a contender.
Mm-hmm.
I think offenses can get together. They can be like the Raiders yesterday. Throw that game out. I'm not willing to turn on the Raiders. They had a bad game. The Washington team had a good play and all that stuff. But I don't like what I'm seeing from the Steelers.
I think that AFC North is that might
be the stinker division this year.
That's the bad one.
The Jaguars and the Texans are probably better than both of those teams.
Jaguars might win that division. We could talk about
Jaguars
that.
Jaguars have a good defense.
Man, maybe the best. I don't know.
How many teams?
How much faith do we put in every one single game? But yeah, you're right. The Steelers can't get the ball moving. The Ravens were disgraceful. The Bengals are going nowhere fast, and the Browns can't get out of their own way as usual. So,
I think the Ravens, the Jaguars, and there's probably 4 or 5 other teams like this. As long as they're hanging around and they have the lead or it's close, they're fine. But when they're down 10, the game's over.
Can't do it.
So the Jags, that was like your perfect game. They get 10-0 lead. Their defense ratchets it up. I actually forgot it was on, and then I looked for it. Did you do the thing yesterday where you looked for it for 10 minutes?
I did, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's on Yahoo. And Yahoo doesn't even have an app on Smart TV.
Right, exactly.
Come on, Yahoo.
Yeah,
what
get
did
it
Marissa
together.
Mayer do for 6 years? You don't have an app?
Yeah.
Everybody has an app. Like, I think the Ringer and Yahoo are the only two without an app at this point.
Maybe you guys get together and figure it out.
Couldn't find it. It's like, I got to watch on my iPad. Great. I'm doing fantasy moves, all this stuff.
Right, and then when they're down 3 touchdowns, like, why am I even going to try to find it now? Right?
Well,
this game's over.
The London game, which we're going to get to this week, is actually pretty good. Some quick stuff to talk about before we get to the games.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 favorites covered in week 3 so far.
Isn't that weird?
Now, you could technically say, I think Minnesota was favored by a point right at kickoff, or it was even
Went
or something.
down to even. It was
but
like
I still count them as an underdog. They were an underdog for 7 days.
Sure.
Home dogs. We talked about this last week, Sal. Not sound like Phil Simms, but we talked about it. There were 10 home dogs last week. That was a red flag. We should have, between that and all the protests, we never should have gambled.
We hated the week, and then we loved the week.
And there's protests to throw it in more fucks. I'm like, I sent you 3 bets on Sunday morning.
Right.
I'm like, what do you think of these?
I was like, that Steelers are a lock just to win the game. And then one of the favorites that won, the road favorites, was the Falcons, and they easily could have won. They were an inch away from losing that game.
I never had a doubt. So, home dogs were 7-2. Home dogs,
straight up
7-2.
Yeah,
7-2.
It's pretty good. They're making these a lot of parity. You know what? I think that's why they play the games, Bill. I've heard that before. But yeah, all the lines are like between.
I've been gambling since 1990. I don't ever remember a year where the home dogs weren't at least like I don't know, 4 games over 500 every year. I like this week. I think I took more favorites than underdogs.
Right. I know. Because you
like
think the better team, you figure the better teams are going to win.
I'd like to add to our never-ending gambling manifesto: don't bet heavily during a crazy political NFL weekend.
Right.
I think that's a fair thing to add to our thing. There's too much going on. You read I didn't even know the Seahawks had a 4-hour meeting before that game. How does that help them in Tennessee?
I didn't know either.
And then Tennessee runs the ball down their throats. The weather's hot.
I don't know. We've got a lot to contend with as gamblers between this political stuff and the storms for the Florida teams. Somehow the Florida teams were better their first week back than they were this week. Like there was like a delayed effect for Miami and Tampa Bay. They played so poorly this week, and now Miami goes on to London. Very weird stuff going on.
My biggest misfire, and we always talk about how the first 2 weeks affect week 3, and you have to figure out what to overreact and underreact to. Washington is actually, it seems like they're good, and they just blew that Philly game in week 1. And then they go and they beat the Rams, a game which I watched. I thought the Rams played pretty well, and they still lost. Yeah. I do like the Rams. And then the Rams, do what they do in week 3, and Washington goes back home, beat Oakland as an underdog. So that's one group that I just messed up on. But then you look at the Chargers, and Miami goes into L.A., StubHub Center, whatever the hell it's called. They pull out the game, mostly because of the kicker, because the kicker screwed up.
Yeah.
I watched the whole game. Not that impressed with Miami, but thought Cutler was throwing the deep ball a little bit.
Yeah, good line. Yeah.
Then it's like, the Jets -6 to throw them in a tease. And I finally decided not to. I picked up Cutler in fantasy, and Miami's just bad.
I had them in every eliminator pool. I was like, I'm going against the Jets every single game.
Yeah.
Disgusting. They didn't show up at all.
Ass kicking. The Jets kind of dominated them.
They did.
So I guess Miami's bad. And then you look at the power poll of just who's bad, and all of a sudden it's like 9 or 10 teams now.
Well, what about who's good? Why don't we do that? Who's the best? Is it? I know you're not happy with your Patriots defense. Very lucky to win that game.
Well, I don't know what happened to the Pats. Well, let's talk about that in 1 second.
All right.
I want to talk about Peloton.
No, you don't.
I do. I really do.
Okay.
I want to talk about Peloton.
Right.
Sal, do you want the convenience of a group cycling class only right in your own living room?
Oh, I do.
That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Your wife would like that. Skip the commute to the gym. Don't get hit by stray sweat drops from other people. Let the workouts come to you. Get yourself a cutting-edge indoor cycling bike from Peloton. New classes added every day. You can try 45-minute classes, 20-minute burns, hip-hop, rock and roll, low impacts, high intensity. Pick live stream classes led by the world's best instructors. Your favorite class on demand. Enjoy it on a 22-inch HD touchscreen. Performance tracking metrics, real-time leaderboard. Ride live with the entire Peloton community. You can do it in your living room, the back of your house, or in my case, my office. Right now, Peloton offering listeners a limited time offer. Go to onepeloton.com. So ONE Peloton, PELOTON.com. Enter the code Bill Simmons at checkout. Get 20% off accessories with your Peloton bike purchase. You can even listen to this podcast while working your butt off on a cutting-edge indoor bike. Go to onepeloton.com. Use the code Bill Simmons. Get started now. All right, the Patriots. Incredible Tom Brady. And it's gotten to the point, even at age 40, we're like, we're down 5. He's got this.
Yeah.
2 minutes left. I got one time out. All right, he's going to come through.
The
3rd and 18. We'll get this.
I checked the line when they started up. They had 80 yards to go, right? Or something.
It was like 79 yards.
Plus 135.
Plus 135. They had to score a touchdown.
Yeah,
couldn't even be a field goal.
touchdown. And I'm like, well, who's the next best at that? Aaron Rodgers. Probably still not only 2-1 odds. Plus 135 is spectacular to have to go 80 yards. That's very low. And
the Texans, people were like, the Texans dropped an interception. Yeah, they dropped the interception when Cooks got completely interfered on. They didn't call it.
He was throwing
Cooks
around
was
there.
going up for it. He just gets knocked over. But
the fumble, got lucky with the fumble at midfield, though, too.
Yes, that one got lucky.
Yeah.
But, the Houston, we were talking about whether to throw them in a parlay or not. I was worried about Houston because I think Houston's D has a lot of confidence against the Pats for some reason. Hot weather. The Pats, because they didn't have enough receivers, they couldn't do the thing where they spread the field with the 5 receivers and just kind of go no huddle and try to wear attack. They just don't have enough receivers to do it. So the game played into Houston's hands in a really nice way, and Watson was fantastic. He made one dumb throw. Other than
had some
that,
great throws.
We couldn't tackle him. We had him sacked like 5 times. He's moving around. He's super calm.
Who do you have? Fedorowicz across the field. He was backpedaling. Like he had some amazing throws. And
I love that guy.
And what were they down? They were down. Just being down.
They were down to legit 8.
And
third quarter,
in the fourth, late in the third, right?
Yeah.
But again, like this is the thing. 4th and 2, 2:20 left. Was that with 2:24 left? You're at the 19-yard line. What do you want the Texans to do? You want them to kick a field goal.
It was less than
right?
4th and 2, wasn't it?
It was 3rd and 1, and they lost a yard, I think.
Ah.
So it was 4th and 2. You want them to kick. You want them to kick a field goal.
I felt like if they went for it, there's a chance we could have stopped them, and then we just need to go 35 yards. I don't know what I wanted.
I don't know.
I felt like we were going to lose the game when they got that last first down with like 3 minutes left. I was like, oh man, we're not even going to get the ball back.
I just think a guy like O'Brien is afraid, and then like it's like a poker hand.
I'm not against that.
It's like you're checking on the flop. Like you're afraid here because you're not going here. I think you have to try to put him away.
Well, I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah.
2-1 feels like the right record for this Pats team because I actually think I know how the Chiefs game turned out, but I feel like if Gronk caught that touchdown, we win that game by 20 points.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All the short yardage stuff they left on the field that game, they really shot themselves in the foot. This game was probably a game they should have lost. They really, I just thought Houston played better than them. And it's weird to say because Brady had 5 touchdowns, but
you thought their defense.
Some fumble breaks went their way, and the one terrible Watson throw was the one mistake he made, but they had guys open. I don't know what's going on with the Pats and short yardage this year. My dad is on the LeGarrette Blount. We never should have gotten rid of him. Bandwagon. He's like, this guy Gillislee, first tackle goes down every time. This big bruising runner just goes right down. But
Burkhead didn't play, right?
Burkhead didn't play.
I'm telling you, that's big. You need a guy like that in there.
The weirdest thing is that they didn't play James White a lot, which I didn't understand. I thought it would seem like a game where he was going to have like 13 catches. It's September. Who the hell knows? Brady looks fine. Cooks is the fastest guy they've probably ever had other than Moss. Yeah. That crossing pattern he had when he just was gaining steam looked like flag football.
And Hogan, if you look at that replay of the touchdown, he has exactly half the end zone to himself. Nowhere from the goal line to the back of the end zone. No one is in his plane. It's phenomenal, these routes these guys are running, how they're getting open. But I think your team is in as good a shape as a team who's totally decimated on one side of the ball could possibly be.
There will be some trade. So, like, I looked at Philly, right? They just lost Sproles. Philly's got the worst running backs in the league now. Yeah. And that seems like a Deion Lewis destination, and maybe they get somebody back for the front seven. Deion Lewis seems to be the expendable guy in this team.
He'll be the one?
Yeah, he's good. I don't know why another team wouldn't trade for him. Yeah. But I look at the AFC, I'm not really afraid of anybody. I think the Chiefs are definitely good. Denver took a big step back last week, even though that was a little bit of a fluky loss to Buffalo. Some things went right for them. And then the Raiders receivers, I don't know. That was my one takeaway from yesterday's game is I'm not sure how explosive that Raiders team is.
You look at a guy like Crabtree, and there's no way he should have 7 yards receiving or whatever he had yesterday. Yeah. Any game, a guy that size and the routes. Are
you worried about Washington?
Everything. I think all these teams are a little weird. I don't think the Eagles are good, but they'll win. I think the Redskins are kind of the same way, but yeah, the Giants are out of it, so it's nice a quarter of the way through the season.
It's nice to get rid of the Giants.
Get rid of one team, so we'll take it one by one, I think.
The Giants had I think the Giants fans, they knew this team wasn't a playoff team. At that point, all that was at stake was just Eli not being in complete disgrace.
Right.
And he was able to rally back with a couple TDs.
I think they had 24 points in the fourth quarter, right?
They did.
You should be worried if you're the Eagles with that. But
my son really enjoyed Odell pretending to be an animal and peeing on a fire hydrant. So I know he got penalized, but his 9.5-year-old demo is as strong as it ever was.
It's good for your son and the New York Post for the headlines.
What bets did you lose on yesterday? Steelers?
You name it. Yeah, Steelers.
Did you pick a bet?
I had the Dolphins everywhere.
Oh, God.
For the Ringer, I had a win with Tennessee. And my other, I'm telling you, this is a screw job. I had under 40 in Denver, Buffalo, which is 23-16. And that's a big call, like that stupid thing where Lamar Miller pretends to.
The 26-16.
It was 23-16 with 7 minutes left. Ty Taylor gets sacked. They're about to punt. Denver's going to have to, not going to go for a field goal. They're going to drive the whole field, and if they don't make it, they don't make it. Miller goes to pick him up and then pulls his hand back. Something my 9-year-old does to my 3-year-old all day, and we don't, as parents, flinch. And they throw a flag for that. Like, what's the big deal about that? Why can't they let that go? Buffalo kicks a field goal. Denver can't recoup, and that's it. Like,
I don't
come
understand anything anymore.
Enough with the referees. Enough with the pussification of the league. These guys, this is really stupid. Like, what? Really, they're going to follow up. What if he makes dinner plans with Ty Taylor and then backs out on that? Is that going to be taunting too? They were losing Denver. Like, why is that? Why is that a call against Denver? Stupid. Tate's shaking his head. He agrees.
Are you ready to do our captain of the week?
Let's do it.
All right. The captain will not rest until he has brought his adventurous spirit and delicious rum to every corner of America. Variety, the spice of life. That's why Captain Morgan has spiced up life quite a bit. They've developed a collection of rum, each with its own distinct flavor and personality. Original spice, coconut, pineapple, white, black, grapefruit, whatever you want. The captain loves anyone who learns to mix like a captain. Every week, Sal and I pick a captain for the week. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first, sure.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I mean, it could be Tony Romo every week. I'm not going to name him captain, but he is a joy to listen to.
People very rarely win the internet anymore.
Yeah.
And he's won the internet.
He really does.
There's no anti-Tony Romo anyone out there. People are just like, I love this.
He has such fire in him. You feel like he's almost going to head down to the field. And like if Andy Dalton wanted to hand over his jersey, no one would have had a problem with it. But
it's going to be so sad when he leaves in week 9 to go be a QB for somebody. I mean, it's going to be tragic.
I have a different point of view, but I like that. But my captain, Tony Romo notwithstanding, is Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars. This guy spends money every year on this team. He won't let them die. They finally have a great defense. He's locking arms with the players. It was the first game in the morning. It was great. He was showing unity. That's the kind of owner everyone needs. The guy looks like a caricature artist in Venice Beach. But Shad Khan, he's my captain of the week.
You didn't even mention that he looked like Ron Jeremy. I'm so disappointed.
A little bit of Ron Jeremy if he got in some shape.
I got a great email. I'm sorry. I'll give you credit in Friday's mailbag, but somebody said Blake Bortles 3-0 in London now. He should be Sir Blake Bortles.
Ooh.
I think that's a good nickname for him, right?
Yeah.
I like that more than the Blake Tannick. Sir Blake Bortles, like Sir Anthony Hopkins, Sir Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
My captain of the week is Deshaun Watson, who scared the living shit out of me in that Pats game. And the bigger point here, Lombardi and some others were all in on this guy being like, don't screw the combine, all this stuff. This guy is a quarterback. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And you could see it yesterday. The Jets passed on him. The Bengals passed on him. All these teams passed on him.
Well, the Browns technically did. That's why Lombardi loves it too, because that was their pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I don't know why we have college football if we can't watch somebody who's that calm and all that stuff over and over again. But I will say, Houston, who has not had a QB, basically since the Oilers moved and then the Texans came back, I think in 2000 or 2001, whatever, and it's just been a QB shit show for them. And they finally have a QB. Deshaun Watson is the captain. Houston fans now get to know what it's like to have a QB who can extend plays and roam around and get a key third down, all that stuff. Congratulations to the Houston fans.
There you go.
All right, week 4. Usually week 4 is the wonk week, as we call it. But I think week 3, I was thinking about Berman last night. I was watching SVP's show. Shout out to SVP, but
I miss him Sunday night.
Miss Berman. Teach! Dramatic, crazy week in the NFL.
He would have exploded last night.
The Bills beating Denver.
Oh, so much.
Can he have a web show, or can he just be on Instagram stories or anywhere?
He's got to miss it.
Can he be in Hawaii with some webcam filming him?
Right. Yeah, you don't have to do the home run derby.
I would click on that every week. Chris Berman, if you're listening, just put yourself on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, we'll make you captain of the week.
Maybe next week. Thursday night, we have the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers. I don't want to say they're reeling, but I think all of us expect a little more from them this week.
Definitely. You don't think they'd go down 21-7 to the lowly Bengals.
Would you have guessed in a million years that Aaron Rodgers 0 for 7 overtime stat?
No. That was shocking.
Completely
I thought
stunned
they
by
made
that
that.
one.
I'm like, someone's going to get fired because that stat's wrong.
7.
Yeah.
Well, he finally won one. But
First
I
overtime
have I watched a lot of that Bears-Steelers game. I one of the reasons I thought the Steelers were going to win was because the Bears have no receivers at all.
Right.
And it's like, well, the one way they're going to stay in the game is just ride these 2 running backs. They have really good running backs.
Howard and
The
Cohen.
Steelers will know that they're going to do that. They'll just shut the... No, they didn't shut them down. Those guys are scary. Howard and Cohen are really good. And
They
it
are.
almost like didn't matter that the Bears didn't have running backs. I have the Packers by 8.5. And I think this is a dangerous game.
I have 8, and it's 7.5.
Yeah.
So I get that one. It is dangerous, and it's a Thursday game, which makes it even stupider. What happened in that? Just that Marcus Cooper play where he stopped at the 1. He kneels down at the 1 yard line, which is a weird
I don't
place to kneel.
understand. It almost seemed like he didn't want to score.
Okay.
It was like when you're playing
Yeah.
a video game and you are trying to taunt the other team.
It was bad. It was worse
really
than
bad.
Deshaun Jackson, I think. Like it
was
real,
terrible.
completely stopped. But then how did they get a field goal out of it?
I don't know. All I know is they reviewed it for 45 minutes.
And so then the flags are going. Tate, why did they get a field goal? The ball got punched out through the end zone. Chicago gets a play, and then they go false start, so they kick a field. I don't understand a lot of the officiating happened there. But, yeah, the Bears were weird. They shouldn't have won. Pittsburgh muffs a punt early on. They could never get back in it. That stupid play on the return. I still think Trubisky's in. Glennon did not have a good game, right? Didn't he have he had no touchdowns and 130 yards or something? He did not have a good game.
I don't know what they're waiting for.
I think this is your week.
I think they're going to still hold out.
Yeah?
It's too much money. It's 15. I don't think they want to pay a guy just to sit over there. And Trubisky, they know that he's fine to wait. He doesn't seem like he's anxious to get out there. You know, they never show him on camera. They never do the cutaway where it's like Mitch Trubisky looks ready to go.
He's pacing.
Yeah, right.
He looks very content, like a rookie. He's like, I'm
He's
learning
hiding?
from Mike Glennon. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to get out there and get killed.
Wow. All right, maybe this isn't the game.
Cohen's great though. Tariq Cohen. I don't think he's getting enough credit.
Trade him. How hard would it be to trade Glennon? I haven't looked.
Who
It's like $15 million a year, right?
Yeah.
He's better than 5 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah,
It's better than I don't know 3
He's better than
starting.
Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Better than.
Yeah, that'd be a weird trade.
So I have the Packers 8.5.
All
You
right,
have.
I had
So
them
you
8.
win that one.
The only thing I'll say is Rodgers is now favored to win MVP 3-1. Brady 4-1. Ryan plus 450. Stafford still 5-1. I don't really get that. He had 122 yards in that Monday night game. And Hunt 15-1.
What's Deshaun Watson? What if they go like 13-3 and he's like the Dak Prescott of this season?
But don't you feel like there are 3 decent teams in that division now? Like for old years for Houston to be good.
Yeah, I'm not going to give Jacksonville that. I'm not anointing them yet.
Let me really quickly look.
Oh, you got excited about the Deshaun Watson. Well,
He's not
Kareem
even-
Hunt, if he's just going to have 60-yard runs every week, he's probably going to win it if he rushes for 3,000 yards.
15-1. He was 20-1 last week. I don't even see Deshaun Watson. I see DeAndre
get him on
Hopkins
there.
at 500-1. As far
That's
as
ridiculous. All right, we have a London game this week.
Yeah.
It is the Saints playing the Miami Dolphins in London. Miami had the week off, even though they played a game against the Jets. It was technically a bye week for them because they didn't show up. The Saints had a dramatic win in Carolina.
Right.
That our own Tay Frazier went to. We're going to get to that in a second. I have the Saints favored by 3 against the Dolphins.
I nailed this. I said 2.5. It is 2.5. It actually
Saints
was
2.5.
3. Went to 2.5. Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I don't know what to make of this Miami team. I had high hopes for them.
Jay Cutler was really, truly awful in that game.
How does that
He
work?
was throwing off the back foot. He was doing all the Jay Cutler stuff.
Jay
I was so
played.
mad.
They're in New Jersey, but half the fans are wearing Dolphins jerseys. It's 90 degrees. How did they get smoked that game?
I was so mad because I bet against Jay Cutler in week 2 and picked against him in my Friday column. And he was actually pretty good. And then he had the Jay Cutler game I was waiting for
Right.
and the game that I wasn't expecting.
Right.
This is a fun game. The Saints aren't horrible. Somebody's going to go 9-7 and make the playoffs in the NFC. You know?
Yeah.
And the Saints had Minnesota week 1, they lose. And it turns out Minnesota's good. I mean, Minnesota just beat Tampa with Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Week 2, they lose to the Pats. They were never winning that game. Pats coming off a loss. Then they go into Carolina and they win Week 3. Maybe they're not as bad as we thought.
They're fine. They should split
Willie
in their
Snead
division.
coming back this week.
Yeah, they'll split their games in their division, I think.
8 and 8, 9 and 7, maybe.
Can't count Breeze out.
I picked for the Sunday marquee game. I did not consult you.
I didn't even think about this. Let me look real quick. Let's see what you were going to pick. Okay, go ahead.
The Oakland Raiders traveling to Denver.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought Tennessee, Houston. I thought you'd get.
I
I thought you'd get a little cute with it, but you're right. That's the better.
Tennessee Houston can't be. I mean, that would be the best version of a Thursday night terrible game that we've watched 100 times.
Right.
But this is the Broncos Raiders are the best game, and we're gonna know something good and bad about these two teams.
One of these teams is going to be.
This is gut check time.
One of them's going to be 2-2, which
Yeah.
quarter way through the season, not great. It's an uphill climb to find a playoff spot.
I want to
in the
know
AFC.
which one of these teams is good, and I think we're going to find out on Sunday night. It's in Denver.
Well,
and
it's
I
not
have-
Sunday night, right? It's afternoon.
I mean, yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
It's in Denver. I have the Broncos favored by 3.
In Denver, I had them favored by 3. It's 2. It was 1.5 and went to 2. So people, Vegas, not excited about the Broncos.
How much of the Bills Broncos did you watch last night?
Oh, I watched the whole thing.
yesterday.
I watched the whole thing because I had the under.
Trevor Simeon, some bad throws.
Yeah. He
Wasn't
connecting.
happy with his performance.
Was that just a typical? I feel like when we were in college, that was a game that we'd all bet the Broncos and we'd get crushed. Like they look so good against Dallas. The running backs are running downhill. Simeon couldn't miss a pass. Their defense was phenomenal. Then they travel to Buffalo. All right, so what? Buffalo. We saw nothing out of Buffalo against Carolina, and there was a fixed line of the week for sure, -3.
I would think it's
Buffalo
a game
wins.
that we lost money on in college, but
Yeah.
then by our mid-20s learned to bet on Buffalo.
Figured it
and
out.
now we've had kids and we're too stupid to remember what to do.
Yeah. Well, I was in college in my mid-20s, so it's hard for me to negotiate.
The Poop Fecta is exciting this week.
Let's hear it.
I have 3. You could arguably put 4 in here, but I have 3. The first one, Cincinnati is traveling to Cleveland. Cleveland is going to be in the Poop Fecta every week, but this one is particularly poopy.
It's bad.
It is a bad one. And
It's a shame one of these teams has to have a win. They're both 0-3 going in.
I went on Francesa on Friday to do picks again.
Yeah, look at you.
And he didn't like the slate. So his first game he just picked Indianapolis because Cleveland was road favorites, and he thought that was ridiculous. And it was brilliant. I was so jealous of it. I wish I had come up with that for my column. Now we have I think the line is going to shift back to where it should be. I have the Bengals by 3 in Cleveland.
We both had 3. It is 3, in fact. And Vegas has issued an apology for making Cleveland a road favorite. They said they have not been this
We
embarrassed.
should have bet on that. Will you promise me next time that happens, we're betting on that?
I know. And they were getting killed, and they made it close, and then Deshaun had his 3rd interception.
That was really frustrating. Second Poop Fecta game of the week. Yet another bad team at home, the Jets, who are suddenly the best team in New York at
What the
least.
hell's going on?
They are hosting the Jaguars of Jacksonville, and I picked Jacksonville -3.5.
Good call. It is 3.5. I had 1. I went very light on that. I don't know why, but Jacksonville 3.5 is the right number.
That's one of those whoever's up by 7 wins the game. If you're up 7-0, 10-3, the game's over. You won. The other team can't come back.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know my boy Shad Khan, he's going to have his players ready.
Shad Khan, a captain.
So now,
You know-
if they win this game, and I think they should, Jacksonville, they'll be 3-1, and we'll get to it later. But Tennessee, Houston,
I disagree on.
Oh, you do?
I think they should. It's Blake Bortles.
Oh, all right.
This is what he does. He
All right.
ropes you in. He's roping you in.
I won't get too excited.
Don't
but
get too excited about Blake Bortles. Defense is good.
Is superb, I think.
Could they have taken Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
they take
they
Deshaun
took
Watson?
Fournette.
They took Fournette.
Oh, yeah,
they had
yeah,
the
yeah.
4th
Took
pick.
Fournette's 4th.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
I
not
like
bad.
Fournette.
Good rookies this year, right?
The rookie
I
running
mean,
backs.
Hunt's probably going to win it, but Dalvin Cook is tremendous. Fournette. Your boy McCaffrey had over 100 yards receiving.
Well, that's because they throw it to him 100 times.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I went into our fantasy draft, and the only thing I wanted to do was get 3 of the 4 rookie running backs, and somehow I spent $45 on Jordan Howard. I'm just so bad at fantasy drafting.
I'm glad they haven't given up on him. I thought the Bears gave up on him after 1 week. So
No.
you're
Somebody
back.
spent, what, $51 on Tariq Cohen in our league?
Oh, and a free agent, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Third poop fecta. The Arizona Cardinals. We don't know how poopy they are because we haven't seen tonight's Dallas-Arizona game.
Right.
They're home facing the 49ers of San Francisco. What'd you have for this one, Sal?
I got it right. I had 7. Cardinals by 7.
That's the line?
You had it lower?
I had Cardinals by 2.5.
Oh, come on.
I swear to God.
Come on.
Why are the Cardinals favored by 7? What the hell have they
What
done?
did you?
The Cardinals are good?
I think
That's-
I think you got excited by Thursday night. A great moral victory. By
Are you telling me the Cardinals are 7 points better than the Niners?
when did the Niners win on the road? How can you give them less than
What's
3?
good about the Cardinals? They're terrible. They're going to get
Can't
killed
make the
tonight.
Niners. What did the Niners do on the road
What
last
have the
game?
Cardinals done this season that made you excited about them? They don't have.
He's so mad.
They don't have David Johnson.
Yeah.
What's good about them? Larry Fitzgerald, the gold.
The Colts were. Oh wait, who did San Francisco go? Oh, Seattle. I was 13.
That's a stupid line.
All right.
Anytime I'm 4.5 points off on a line, I'm right.
You're not taking the 49ers.
I'm
going
to take the 49ers.
No way.
I will take the 49ers.
The one thing I'll say
I'm gonna
is
shove it right in your mug. and
this
take
is really
49ers.
weird. What's weird is the Cards play Monday night.
Yeah.
They play San Francisco, who is going to have 10 days rest. They're coming off a short week. Same with Dallas. Dallas comes off a short week next week. They're playing the Rams, who have 10 days rest. It's weird that they did that to both teams.
Wow.
Both Monday night teams play both Thursday night.
They've just never figured out how to make
No.
the schedule make sense
No,
ever.
right.
Quick break to talk about Bluehost, a top-rated website provider powering over 2 million websites for bloggers or small business owners. Bluehost has everything you need to build, host, and manage the personal or small business website you've always wanted. Design your website your way without being limited by templates. Simple enough for beginners, powerful enough for even the most advanced users. That doesn't qualify us. Follow fully customized templates, third-party app support, 99% uptime guarantee, maximum security, including malware monitoring protection, automatic secure WordPress installs. Do you know what any of that means, Sal?
No, I trust you're telling the truth, though.
Not to mention Bluehost 24/7 tech support, online resources, expert services. No wonder it's been the top recommended WordPress host on WordPress.org since 2005. Bluehost makes hosting your website stress-free. Go back to what matters most. Gambling. Let Bluehost do your website. Now our listeners save 50%. All you have to do is sign up at bluehost.com/Bill Simmons. All right. The Barely Watchables.
Is this going to be a new podcast, The Barely Watchables?
The Barely Watchables.
You talk about movies that you couldn't get through even once.
To me, every movie's watchable. I don't even know. I wouldn't even qualify for barely watchable. I was up till 2 a.m. watching Shattered Glass the other night. I'll watch anything.
Oh, come on.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen's good in that movie.
That's a good movie.
I'm in on
I
Shattered
haven't seen
Glass.
it.
It's a
good
great
one.
story.
It's a good one.
There's too much to watch.
Barely watchables. Steelers at the Ravens. I don't know. I got to say, I didn't know what to do with this line. I had the Steelers by 2.5.
You knew exactly what to do with it. That's exactly right.
You could have told me the Ravens were favored by 3. I wouldn't have been shocked.
They can't let that happen. Pittsburgh, I had favored by 1. It's 2.5.
I will remind people that the home Ravens versus away Ravens are almost 2 different teams. It's like split.
Same with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Go on the road, they're a different team.
Yes.
But I'm trying to figure out what makes this what makes the Steelers favored in this game.
I think that Joe Flacco looked like a corpse.
Yeah.
That might have done it.
Well, the other thing is you're when you play in London, you have the option of taking a bye the next week.
Yeah.
Neither the Jags nor the Ravens decided. The Jags have the Jets, so they probably figure that's a bye anyway. The Ravens, though, having to play the Steelers after London is
Have we
is rough.
seen somebody play the week after our London game?
I think we did. I think because there are so many of them now.
Let's see the
but-
stats on that.
Yeah, we should check that out.
Another one that. Oh wait, who's home for Chargers Eagles? I think I wrote this down wrong.
Chargers are home.
Okay. Man, I don't know what to. I wrote that down wrong. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna say
Take some time.
Eagles by 2 over the Chargers in LA.
I said Eagles by 2 also. And it started at Eagles by 1.5, and now it's a pick 'em. Big money coming in on the Chargers overnight.
I'd like to remind people how many Philly fans will be at this game. Now, you could argue
All of
that's a
them.
bad thing.
Every single one of them. Yeah.
But I would say if that's 27,000, what would you say top 5 transplants in LA just based on living here for how many years you've been here?
20 now.
So I would say New York has the most
Right.
with people in our lives. Mm-hmm. I would say Boston
You
second.
guys second, right?
I would say Chicago third.
Yeah, the 3 big. Yeah.
I would say Philly fourth. Or people that have some connection to Philly, whether it's they live there, they lived in Delaware, they lived in the Jersey part that's close to Philly, they went to one of the schools there.
Interesting.
I would be my fourth pick.
I would say maybe Washington.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and I work with a lot of people from D.C., I think.
See, I feel like the D.C., they never leave.
No?
They're like Joe House. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They won't go. You just get sucked in by the 105-degree weather. And
That's interesting. I wouldn't even think. I mean, I think the top 3 are far and away the top 3. So,
but Philly's at least in the top 5
yeah,
or
they're
6.
in the conversation, I think.
And I think all of them will be at this game
Right.
because it's your one chance to go to an Eagles game in a 28,000 seat stadium.
Yeah. Why? I don't know why it bothers me so much, the $100 parking, because now people are posting pictures of the $100 parking. But this is a stadium. It's not like Jerry Jones, who's charged $90 when the stadium was first built. And we were out there. We couldn't believe it. Remember, we were looking for parking. We're like, $90. What are we going to do? This is crazy. We don't have $90. But the whole thing was,
We definitely have $90.
back then we didn't have $90. But no, but we. But this isn't a stadium that they built. Why do they need $100? Like, what are they recouping for $100? And there's no mass transit that goes to Carson. Like, you're better off taking a train to a half hour away and then Ubering to the stadium. They're just making it too hard.
I think this LA Chargers thing, which
Yeah.
I actually was intrigued by and rooting for,
Right.
has gone horribly. Every single thing has gone wrong. Phil Rivers looks washed up.
Yeah.
The Korean kicker who was set up to be this folk hero, he blew the second game. They look terrible. Their coaches really botched the first 2 games, and now they're 0-3 in a tough division. They have no chance at the playoffs. And now you're facing Philly coming in week 4 and 27,000 Philly fans. This is a disaster.
It's really bad.
This is really bad.
I
They were better off staying in San Diego and playing at like the University of San Diego Stadium for 3 years over this.
And they talk about Phil Rivers commuting to L.A. every day or whatever, like it's a great thing. Like, oh, look what he's done. It's like, that's a miserable drive.
Yeah,
I know
he's
he
got
has 14
7 picks.
Yeah, I know he has 14 kids, but yeah, that's not going to be good for a player to do
Yeah.
that every day. Quarterback.
This is a terrible game that I plan on not watching. Tampa at home for the New York Giants. I have Tampa by 7. Tampa's dying for us to put them in a tease. They're taunting us. They're sending us texts. They're sending us flowers from Books.
Yeah.
They just really want to, and I don't trust them. I don't like what I saw from Jameis. I'm about to turn my back on them as a playoff contender. Yeah, they hurt my feelings yesterday.
The Hard Knocks hard on is subsiding.
And I have them in our wins pool.
Oh, right. Yeah. You have them all over the place.
My wins pool, I might be done. I have Seattle, Tampa, and San Francisco. I might be going home. But
yeah.
Jameis I thought this would be the year that he stopped throwing the ball to the other team, but he likes it too much. He likes throwing the ball to the other team.
Maybe give him a break, because that's a fierce defense, Minnesota.
I don't want to give him a break.
You don't want to give him a break? All right. Well,
yeah. I have the Bucks by 7.
You may not even have to tease him. I have him by 6, and it's 4. So if you like the Bucks, they're banking on the Giants to get that first win or come close.
The Giants
or try.
stink.
They're really bad.
They're not a good football team. They are the Giants. We see bad coaching every year. It's really tough for bad coaching to jump out. Mm-hmm. Peterson versus McAdoo yesterday was about as bad as you're going to see.
It's pretty good.
I would have them. I would have Anthony Lynn, Marvin Lewis. Who else is in the bottom 5? Pagano.
Well, I'll tell you. You want to know who's odds and who's to be fired
first coach fired? Let's do it.
Pagano minus 140.
He's favored. Oh my God.
His favorite. McAdoo plus 180. Now, he was not in the top
I think
5 at the
McAdoo's
beginning.
the favorite now.
You think so?
If you're Indy, you kind of want Pagano to ruin your season now at this point.
But that was if he lost to Cleveland, he might be gone this week. But now I think he bought himself a few. McAdoo, you're right. If he's 0-4, he can go. He doesn't sound like he even wants to be there in the press conferences.
Who is following the Giants? Who roots for the Giants? Who's around the Giants? Who has said the words?
Yeah.
You know what? Ben McAdoo, he's putting together something here. Like,
That's our guy.
everybody seems to be confused and horrified by Ben McAdoo.
Yeah, right.
He really seems completely out to lunch.
Marvin Lewis 5-1. Sean Payton 15-1, and Hugh Jackson 20-1.
Sean Payton 15-1.
15-1. Sean Payton.
I would say McAdoo. I do not see him making it to November.
Yeah, I think McAdoo also.
I think if they lose this game badly in Tampa, what do? Who's their backup assistant? I don't even know. I don't know who's next. Maybe Phil Simms.
Well, to get in there, Perry Fuel. Well, I don't know who they'll put in there. I'm just
Phil
trying to look
Simms
at their
took over
schedule.
the Giants, would he just say he talked to himself? I talked to myself last night.
It would suck when Romo unseats Sims as head coach 2 years from now.
Oh no!
At Bucks, home for Chargers, at Broncos, and then the Seahawks. That home
boy.
game for the Chargers would be their first. I mean, they could go 0-7 if they don't win.
There might be 8 picks in that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be bad news. We should look to bet that.
I wish Eli had more picks. I want to see somebody make a run at Favre's 21st century interception record is 28. And Eli almost beat it a couple years ago at 27.
Yeah, 27.
I think Rivers could get to 30.
Really?
The way he throws the ball around. Yeah, how many does he have now? Like 6?
He has 6, and then Kaiser has 7. Kaiser has the most right now.
I just feel bad.
It's going
because
down this year, the interception record.
He might be listening to this. He has a long commute, Phil Rivers. You understand? So
If he's
there's a chance
listening, Phil, I think you should ask for a trade.
Yeah.
Right? The move with the Chargers should be to trade Phil Rivers right now.
I think it's late. I think it's too late for that.
Last barely watchable game. Hate to put my team in here, but Pats home for the Panthers of Carolina. I have the Pats by 10. What do you have?
Wow, you have I think you're missing a game. Oh, because it has to count as Sunday night. I see what you did. Okay. But all right. What you had 10? I had 8, and it's 8.5. So I get that. You love that on a teaser. You love it.
I don't like anything I'm seeing from the Pats. All
Really?
right, Tate, let's hear.
Come on.
Actually,
Tate.
let me do one more read, and then we'll hear from Tate, who went to
A lot of pressure.
Carolina. Quick break to talk about Gillette. I've talked about this a million times. The tip of a Gillette razor blade is measured on an atomic scale, meaning their blade edges are thinner than a single brain cell. That precision is the work of many brain cells, hundreds of members of Gillette's research and development team that have spent over 4,700 years combined. Sal, I don't appreciate that you're on your phone.
I'm
listening
sorry.
to me telling you about Gillette. We're going to make your shave closer,
ordering
more
Gillette.
comfortable.
That's right.
That's longer than the Egyptian pyramids have been around. I'm going to quiz you on this after.
Okay.
While over 1,000 craftsmen and women in Boston are busy making your blades, another team is putting your blades through more than 60 extremely strict and precise quality checks. Fail just one of these tests. Doesn't leave the factory. The hardworking people at Gillette never stop working to make your blades better. Ever. Not ever.
I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to say Gillette is the best a man can get.
If they are.
That's what I'm going to say. And they should use that as a slogan.
Well, you can get Gillette blades at their lowest prices in years. See for yourself at GilletteOnDemand.com. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Oh,
You
so
called it.
Doesn't it sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pricing applies to select products and is at the sole discretion of the retailer. And now, Tate Frazier's story of going to Carolina for week 3.
Nicest fans, nicest people that are working at the stadium. Everyone was in good spirits. They believed that Cam Newton was going to have a breakout game. That was before. Everyone was excited.
High Cam spirits.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be the day. He does his whole run in, does the whole fly and everything. First drive, everything's going great. Running the ball, Jonathan Stewart looks good. McCaffrey has a few little screen passes that work out. Everyone's excited. Get held to a field goal. Get the field goal. And then Drew Brees comes down like a real quarterback. He's throwing to Michael Thomas, who's like, forget about Brandon Cooks. They have Michael Thomas, this Ohio State kid. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But my main takeaway is that they run 25 plays for McCaffrey, and there needs to be about 10. And they need to run plays for Curtis Samuel, the second round pick they have. They won. It was like one end around. They flipped it up. Cam did, and it was great. But the offense is really bad. Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis both took off their helmets at one time to yell at the sideline about the defense, like they were about to have a coup against the defense. It was like mutiny was happening on the field.
Uh-oh. Is Ron Rivera in the first coach fired?
I haven't seen him in the list.
It's I think Mike Shula is the one that's going to be on the chopping block, the offensive coordinator. I think Cam looks dejected. He's doing this weird thing where he scored a touchdown and he didn't celebrate, And if Cam Newton's not celebrating a touchdown, something's wrong with him. You know, like that's just not who he is.
That's a good call.
It was a very weird day. A lot of people were turning saying they should put in Derek Anderson, the 2007 Pro Bowl quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
That would have been a mistake.
Come on, that's silly.
Yeah.
So it was tough. It was really ugly, and I just don't.
So the McCaffrey thing is the big revelation because I have him on my fantasy team, and it does seem like they're trying to jam him down the offense's throat. A little Tavon Austin, like that first couple
Just
Tavon
this
Austin
week.
years.
Yeah, this is the first week
Like,
they've done that, though, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you need to touch it 20 times a game.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Kelvin Benjamin gets hurt, which is obviously a big deal.
Right.
Greg Olson's
How
out.
long is he out for?
They're not sure yet, but he had like a really bad horse collar gets pulled down. That's the other thing. Cam is throwing these guys into bad positions, and the one time he used
Sounds
his
like Tate's out on Cam.
no,
Little bit.
I am like the biggest Cam fan. I really want him to do well. He had one scamper where he got away, and it looked like the old days.
Scamper.
And then the next play, he does a one-step drop, a rhythm throw, and he throws this horrible pick. And it's like, what is he looking at?
Yeah.
He's doing the Jake Delhomme, I can't see anything, is what he said when he had through the 5 picks. He's like, I can't see anything. That's what Cam's
The
doing
good
right
news
now.
is Carolina fans have experience with their quarterback completely self-destructing out of nowhere.
After a
You
Super
know all
Bowl.
the signs.
After
yeah.
a Super
You know
after
all
a
the signs.
devastating Super Bowl
So your
loss.
theory is after Cam got the shit kicked out of him in that Denver game in Week 1 last year,
2016,
that
yeah.
he's never been the same.
Yeah, they teed off on him. They really did. Von Miller as like the Joe Theismann LT thing. I know, but the same thing sort of happened to Cam mentally. I feel like he needs to go to a sports psychologist.
So it's like when Ronda Rousey got knocked out. That's what that
That's it.
Denver game
you
was
lose
for
the
Cam.
edge. You lose people aren't scared of Cam anymore. They're like, okay, I know what to do against this guy. I'm gonna rough him up, keep him in the pocket. I'm gonna push the pocket up so all he can do is step up, and he doesn't want to step up. He wants to make the throw, and he can't make the throw.
They look to me like a team that didn't have a preseason. Their
Yes.
offense has no identity. It might be as simple as Cam was injured, but
a lot of first coach fired.
I feel bad.
rhetoric
Tate
right
had
now.
a miserable weekend. His Carolina Tar Heels football team blew a fourth quarter lead.
Against the devil himself. Yes.
Against Duke. Everyone's getting on for that. He goes to a wedding. He vomits on the bride's uncle. Like it's all crazy
You vomited
stuff.
on the bride's uncle?
He'll talk about that.
That never happened. But yeah.
Did you go to a wedding?
I did go to a wedding.
Bride girlfriend?
Yeah.
Did you have the
Everyone
near
at
the
the
end of the
wedding
wedding
asks you
fight?
when you're getting married.
Yeah, I know.
This is how you play
And then
that.
they
You just
snap.
say she's the one. You don't give any dates, specifics, timelines. You just say she's the one. Then you walk away.
He's
She
at the
didn't start a fight with you at the end?
No, of course not. No.
Oh,
Because I had the right answer. She's the one. You just
He
walk
has
away.
10 weddings to go to in the next 2 years. Like this is the age where you get slaughtered.
The problem is they all with the other people at
Oh,
these
yeah.
functions.
Oh,
the
they
weddings,
collude.
Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Right.
So when are you guys?
yeah.
I never would have gotten married if people didn't keep asking my wife that
You
question.
should get a taser. It should be called the Tate Taser. And anytime anyone asks you when you're getting married, just give them a shot to the
For
midsection.
everyone in your life who might ask that question, you should immediately fire back with something they don't want to answer.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
when are
true.
you going to answer for voting for Trump 2 years
Right,
ago?
exactly.
Like just,
What do you think about the NFL protests? And then they're just like, oh,
yeah,
just walk
just
away.
Turn
fire
around
right back
on
on
him,
them.
That's the plan. He's
too busy
And I will
vomiting.
say Michael Thomas, best game of his career. And then the Jaguars, Michael Thomas comes out and has this heartfelt, teary-eyed thing about
Stole
Trump.
his Michael
so
Thomas
he
thunder.
stole the Michael Thomas
Oh,
train
he's not
from him.
even
He
the
stole all the headlines.
Biggest Michael
That's the
Thomas of the day.
Tate and Lombardi recapped all the games on GM Street, which is going up on Ringer NFL.
They
Show
did it this
today.
morning?
They had to do it this morning because
Wow.
Tate was flying back. But yeah, that's happening. Tate's working on 2 hours sleep. All right, the watchables. We have 7 games left to zip
Let's
through.
do it.
We should do that quick. The Bills hosting the Falcons.
Okay.
This is a good game. I'm excited for this game. Falcons minus 3.5 over the Bills is my guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Simmons. NFC champs. Buffalo coming to Atlanta. I said 7. It's 8.5.
I stand by the pick.
I think you're on 2
I think
hours
Buffalo's
sleep.
good. I watched the Falcons yesterday almost blow a game to the Lions, make a ton of mistakes. Outdoors, Falcons, I think that people have to factor that in too.
I think the Falcons are smart. They know how to win games. I think Matt Ryan throws a pick 6 on the road.
They almost lost.
They
Go
just
take a tackle to the 1-inch out
no
line.
whatever. They gave him the middle of the field. That's a risk you take when you throw down the middle of the field with no
That
timeouts.
is true.
It's stupid.
That was didn't get enough credit for
Right.
being too risky.
That's what people should talk about.
Yeah.
Like not the 10-second.
And he
run
definitely
off
was
or the-
tackled. Like I thought right away. I was like,
Yeah.
he got tackled before he went in.
Right.
That's a great game. I'm interested with this Bills team. I like everything I've seen from them the first couple weeks. I think they're super duper frisky. They'll probably go 8-8, but they're in all these games.
I probably swung and missed on the Bills. I thought they would be an under pick. I think they were like under 6.5.
Well, they were trading starters and stuff.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. I still like Atlanta for the NFC. Atlanta for the NFC was plus 360 last week. This time, plus 260 now. Jump on it if you can.
I'm going to keep staring at it until it goes to even odds.
All right.
Houston at home for the Titans of Tennessee. You said this should have been a marquee game. Who do you have?
Well, I had Houston by 3. What do you have?
That's what I had too.
We're way off. Tennessee by 1.5. We tie. And for that reason, I will not be able to pick this game correctly. I could take both sides and I'll get it wrong.
I think Tennessee is officially my 2017 team. I'm just going to get wrong every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We predicted that a few weeks ago. We said this
is 0-3 on Tennessee.
This is who we're going to lose
on. I knew it heading in, and I can't say Mariota's name correctly. I was calling Mariota. It's Mariota.
Close, yeah.
I just say it wrong every time. and I don't believe in Mike Mularkey, and I'm just going to always get them wrong.
Yep.
Dallas home for the Rams.
Oh, man.
You're afraid of this game.
I'm afraid of every game.
We haven't done a pod since that unbelievable Thursday night Rams game.
Right.
That game was so much fun. It almost saved the NFL. Then we had a whole
Thursday
fun
nights
week 3.
now?
Yeah, I like Thursday nights.
I mean, can you imagine if
the Rams.
Jacksonville, Baltimore was Thursday night and that Rams-Niners was London? Like they did it right. They gave you some hope for Thursday night games.
I agree. I was in early on Sean McVay based on my experiences with millennials. And I feel like I was proven correct.
Everybody loves him. Anyone they interview loves that guy.
I liked when he just left the sidelines and was just sitting on a chair working on his defense is out there. He's not even watching. He's working on some sort of
like building a deck or something.
I like their weapons. I like Watkins. Todd Gurley is one of the 5 best players in the league the first 3 weeks. Right? Great running backs.
That's crazy.
Todd Gurley was incredible.
In one game, he has a whole season's worth of stats.
He's been great. Devontae Freeman, I think, has been really good. Kareem Hunt's obviously been awesome. But it seems like this new generation of running backs coming
up. A lot of the rookies, sure.
So I had the Cowboys by 6 over the Rams.
I had 5.5. It's 7.5, so you get that one right.
I don't know. I think tonight will determine where that line goes.
I also, again, I don't know why the team with 10 days rest plays the team on a short week. Again.
Vikings home for the Lions. Case Keenum looked terrible in week 2. Looked better than Sam Bradford in week 3. Quarterback, the worst quarterback controversy ever brewing in Minnesota. I have the Vikings by 3 over Detroit.
I had 5.5. There's no line.
Okay.
Why don't they put one out? Who cares if it's Bradford?
They don't know what to make of that Case Keenum thing. The Lions are good. I liked how they fought back in that Atlanta game. That game looked like it was over a couple times. I mean, they have this pull the horseshoe out of their ass luck with turnovers, and it's just constantly. And then finally they get burned on the Golden Tate play.
You're not going to win every fourth quarter game, like the close game.
But they, I like how they stayed in that game, and they're explosive. Stafford's good. Pretty well coached. Jim Caldwell, it took him about 9 years to be a good coach, but he's actually like half decent now.
He's not even in the mention of first coach fired.
He blinked 3 times yesterday.
Yeah.
And then, we did Broncos Raiders already. All right, so that's all the watchables. Sunday night is terrible.
Really bad. Well, when the network is banking on Andrew Luck being quarterback and it's not even close.
They can't flex this one.
No.
If you're taking heat at home with your wife or girlfriend, or if you're the female football fan in the family and your man doesn't watch, and Sunday nights you blow them off.
This
is a
likely.
great week to go out. Great week to go have dinner, go pumpkin patch hunting, whatever the hell you want to do.
I'm with you.
Seattle home for the Indianapolis Colts and Jacoby Brissett and Chuck Pagano. I have Seattle by 13.
Good call.
Thanks.
Right on. Opened at 12.5, went to 13. I had 10.5. I don't know why I didn't go higher than that, but I almost think the Colts don't have a chance in this game. Seattle, angry. I also don't understand. I mean, maybe Frank Gore has 200 yards rushing because they give up somehow this defense gives up 6 yards a carry, the Seattle defense, but I think they'll be too angry to blow this.
I don't know what to make of Seattle anymore. I thought they were going to show up in Tennessee.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that they lost, because you can blow stupid games, but they took the lead with a minute left before halftime.
Right.
And then just started giving up drives and really big plays. And
Russell Wilson has plays where he's running so far backwards that he can't even reach the line of scrimmage on a pass that he's trying to get away. That's hard to do. And on several plays, he's like backtracking so far that he's out of it. He's gonna
Who's
get
your favorite
grounding no matter
Seahawks
what.
running back? Which one would you want on your fantasy team if you could have any of them?
I think this Carson guy runs
like
hard,
Carson the most,
right? How much did he go for in the first?
I think that Jennings might have even gotten him
They did.
in free agency.
Yeah, they don't know. It was definitely for agency. It was like $40 or something. Wait, let's add these up real quick because we don't give it enough. You're leading in the weeks, two weeks to one, and you have 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're done.
You beat me?
10-8, including ties. Yeah.
Well, anytime I'm 4.5 points off on line.
Yeah.
All right, Monday night is actually the marquee game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City hosting Washington. It's a great game. I'm excited to watch this game.
Really good. Really good.
I had the Chiefs by 6.5.
Good. Wow. For losing, I think you had the most right on the number, and it was 6.5. I had 6. And you love the Chiefs and the Patriots on a teaser.
Now, what's going to
all.
happen is I'm going to end up teasing the Bucks with the Chiefs and losing. And one of those two teams.
After all that.
One of those two is going to screw me.
I'm giving you a birthday parlay. It's Bill Simmons' birthday, everybody.
Wow, thanks.
It's Brandon Cook's birthday, too.
It's my birthday.
And Scottie Pippen.
And Scottie Pippen?
Not only
Brandon
is it-
Cook's, that's pretty big. Had a giant game for you.
Not only is it my birthday, it's the 3-year anniversary of when Rosie O'Donnell said that I had beautiful eyes.
Really?
On The View. Yeah.
She did?
Yeah. It's the 3-year anniversary.
Rosie,
I
I'll say-
celebrate that more than my birthday now.
3 years later, Rosie, I'm looking at him right now. Still true. Still true.
I'd just been suspended by ESPN. I think I'd been.
Yeah.
It was that day or something. They were talking about on The View, which was when I officially knew it was a big deal.
Right, yeah.
And Rosie came right in, had my back.
And
I'll
here
always
you
have
are.
Rosie's back now.
Now, if only Kevin Durant could notice your beautiful eyes.
That's my dude, man.
I know.
Do
you have plans
I got
tonight?
called Mrs. Durant in my mailbag 2 weeks ago. We have to do Parent Corner because people love Parent Corner
I'm
last
going to
week.
give you a free parlay, though, on your birthday.
Oh, you always do this.
I want to do this, but it should be for the game tonight. Or
for the game tonight?
Yeah, because it is your birthday.
I'll do a Cowboys money line parlay with.
You could you could look at some of the individual stuff too, but
Yeah, all right. I'll figure it out later.
Okay.
I don't want to.
All right, go ahead.
It's
Go
too
ahead.
much pressure. Parent Corner. Do you want to go first?
yeah, I'll go first.
Great. People love Parent Corner last week. We don't have a sponsor
love
for
it.
it yet, but they did like it.
Yeah. I have a 12-year-old who's been playing fantasy football for 3 years. He needed 5.2 points at a car last night, and he got like 5.13, and he threw a fit. And they did a weird thing, the Raiders, at the end of that game. For anyone who needed 6 points at a car, they didn't call timeouts, but they let Carr go in there for the last minute, and he dumped like passes over the middle. So my son is going nuts, but he's not swearing because he knows I'll get mad. And he's like, "Oh, what a sucky jerk! You sucky jerk!" He was like getting so mad, and my wife is like, "What is going on down there?" I was like, "Our boy's becoming a man. That's what's going on down there." So I want to hand it to my son. I approve of his temper tantrum last night. Fantasy football related. He lost by 0.13 or something.
That's a great one. I don't have a good Parent Corner this week, but I do want to give a shout out. I went to Disneyland on Wednesday night because they have this
man.
Halloween thing
Oh,
where
right.
they clear out the park at 6:00. You have to
Okay.
buy tickets, and you go in, and you can it's like a candy free for all. Have you ever been there for this?
Mm-hmm.
They have all these candy stops, and your kids go, and then they go back, and they circle back.
Right.
So my kid has this giant thing of candy, just giant. It's like a whole grocery bag full of candy. So then, like 3 days later, my wife realizes that the candies, she doesn't know where it is, and my son's claiming he doesn't know where it is. He hid it in his WWE crate in his bed.
Great.
And half of the candy was gone.
No.
It was like a Corn Julio episode. He was going, "All right, guys, I'm going to go to bed." He was just going to his room and eating candy. And I'm convinced that my son is going to take 7 years to graduate college. Because
I think he's going to be awake for all of them.
he's so ahead of us on stuff already. And he
Right.
lies to us, and
Yeah.
he's up to things, and he's hiding things already. He's 9.5. He's going to have like a fridge in his room. And so, I
That's a great ad for Disneyland. That story. It really is.
Well, my daughter's like the most honest person ever, at least right now. And then my
Right.
son is just a flat out liar, like a liar right to your face on anything. Did you eat that last pizza? No.
No.
And then because his jaw starts quivering. Anyway.
Greatest place on earth. Happiest place on earth.
Yeah, so I learned this week on Parent Corner, don't trust little boys. Do your son hide stuff from you?
I think so. I'll open that door and I'll get the iPad will be clutched to the chest pretty quickly. So
How have you handled your son with like going on the internet and looking at porn and stuff?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because they can just go on their iPad and you don't know what the hell they're doing.
I know.
Do you put those parent protector things in there?
Can't they get around that somehow? I don't even bother. I just hope that he does the best thing and just.
It's so easy to find porn. It should just be, there should be like 3 steps to be able to.
In my
see
head, he's
anything.
just checking his fantasy football lineup at 2 a.m. Naked. I don't
Different
know.
sucky jokes.
That's right. Oh, Tate. Tate is back.
Yeah. Well,
Let's end on that.
The
Holy
50-minute
shit.
shower start. It's
Yeah, exactly. A cold
12
shower.
I'm not looking forward to my
If
son
anyone
hitting
has
13.
any advice on how to handle this, because I'm lost with the 12-year-old boys.
Well, it could be worse. You could have a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's right. But that's your wife. That's all her. She has to.
Yeah, we go to the soccer game. She had a soccer game on Saturday and forgot to wear a jogging bra.
Really?
And then
So what happens? You have to go
my
to like
wife had
Kmart
to
or
come
something.
bring a jogging bra.
Nice.
And I'm just like, I'm out. I don't want any part of this. And not even sure she needed a jogging bra, but it's more like a state of mind at this point. I feel like I'm a 12-year-old woman. I need a jogging bra.
I feel stupid because I got you a jogging bra for your birthday.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, this all
Appreciate
comes
that.
out. So weird.
There's a lot of 7th grade girl drama that I'm debating whether to bring up on Parent Corner.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe like week 4.
Okay. Well, we're there.
I don't know. I think my daughter might actually get legitimate mad at me, but
We'll dub your voiceover like, they do that when they do it.
Yeah.
I'd have to use pseudonyms, but 7th grade girl drama is unbelievable.
I love to
You
hear
see
it.
all the seeds for what's going to happen for the next 30 years of her life with friends. And friends just deciding they like somebody else, that somebody else, all that stuff. And it's all there in 7th grade.
They're not stealing each other's Disney candy? It's not that bad? It's different?
I want to know what else is in my son's room. Like, we might actually have to go through and see what else
That
is
could be a whole other
Might
segment.
find like a relative in there. All right. That's it for week 3. We're
Let me
heading into
plug-
week 4. Thanks to SeatGeek for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase on NFL tickets. Use promo code BSNFL. Thanks to Captain Morgan. The captain loves anyone who learns to mix like a captain. Thanks to TheRinger.com. Don't forget, every Friday, my football column, mailbag/picks, goes up Friday morning. Plus Sal's best bet of the week. Your make-believe casino thing from Against All Odds with
Yeah,
Cousin
we're going to
Sal.
cover football,
Check out-
hockey futures this week,
Oh,
baseball,
hockey
all
futures.
of it.
Baseball is going to be almost has to be like a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks to Gillette. Did you know a Gillette razor blade is thinner than a single brain cell? That's the product of many brain cells that work from the thousands of men and women at Gillette. They're always working harder to make your shave better. Now you get Gillette blades for less at GilletteOnDemand.com. Gillette, the best a man can get. Pricing applies to select products and is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Thanks to Bluehost. Whether you're a blogger or a small business owner, Bluehost has everything you need to build, host, and manage the website you've always wanted. Simple enough for beginners, powerful enough for even the most advanced users. Design your website your way. No wonder it's been the top recommended WordPress host on WordPress.org since 2005. And now our listeners save 50% when you sign up at Bluehost.com/Bill Simmons. We should give a shout out to our cousin.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Phenomenal week for him last week.
It's very emotional. I was away with him this weekend, and dozens of people came up to him telling him what a great job he's doing, and with this healthcare stuff. And it's when the stories get personal, you kind of like it hits home. They're showing pictures of their kids who can't feed themselves at 20 years old and need all this coverage and can't get it, and then it becomes a real thing. So
He seems overwhelmed in a good way, but definitely overwhelmed. Like, he's definitely
Well, it's
more
a lot
famous.
of homework.
He's
It's a
more
lot.
famous and in the mix than he's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to know what he's talking about. So he's
Yeah.
like basically doing homework. He's studying this stuff. Like,
Plus, the
all
way
day.
he's wired, he has to get everything perfect.
Right, exactly.
He somehow found a way to get in an argument with me on text about whether Young Sheldon was going to be a good show or not.
He said yes, right?
He thinks it's going to be the best show of the new season on any network. Because I was like, this show looks terrible. And he's like, no, it's going to be great. So he took a break from that.
Well, ABC would welcome it in a second, I think.
ABC's got Steve Harvey's Thunderdome on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Have they just given up?
We got a young doctor. Is it a young doctor? Good doctor. Yeah.
The show I am most excited about is Wisdom of the Crowd with my man Jeremy Piven.
Oh, what's that on?
It's on CBS.
It is.
He is the last celebrity who is completely not self-aware at all. He's my favorite Instagram follow. I urge everyone out there to follow him on Instagram. And now he's hosting his own show, and I can't wait. Awesome. Or not hosting his own show, starring in his own like CBS drama.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. I love Piven.
None of Turtle's not in it? None of those guys?
No, it's a new look for Piven.
I don't know if it's going to work.
It's great. Sal, good job by you.
Good job by you. Happy 50th birthday.
Come on. Years away from 50.